But this is another thing, a lie that's agreed upon. Do you remember this? This is something, remember the double masking?
Oh,
now here's the thing,
yeah.
it's really important. We're going to get to all of Fauci's flip-flops, maybe tomorrow, maybe on another day, because I think it's important for people to be held accountable. And of course, those in the scientific community, really those who politicize science at the top, are never held accountable. But many of you may not remember this, so let's give you a timeline. This wasn't that long ago. Doctor, who hasn't seen a patient in several decades,
Still a doctor,
Fauci, said that wearing 2 masks was something you should do.
So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense.
Okay. Now, don't you love how when people were talking about like hydroxychloroquine or these other, they go, well, look, if this is treating some kind of an immune response and some sort of an inflamed immune response, some of the other immunomodulators or anti-inflammatories, it makes sense that they might work through the same mechanism of action. Like, well, there's no science for that. But now you're saying when someone puts on a smiley face, don't worry, be happy, double target mask, oh, you know what? Listen, that's good enough for me. That's a double-blind, golden standard trial. Well, this was taken so seriously that everyone in the current administration, including our former vice president, wore double masks. Here you go. Look at this. Look at all these people. Where are you, Token Bring up the overlay. Bring up the overlay, Token We need to see all these people being stupid, Token There you go. Look at that. There you got Kamala Harris. You got Chucky. You got Buttgig. You got Fauci himself. Buttgig again.
But
and
Biden actually didn't realize he had already had a mask on.
What's funny is Biden did it over an N95 mask just because he wanted to virtue. Like, no one is saying you need a second mask over an N95 mask. He's like, screw him. I'll show him that I really care.
This is better.
I think it was a total accident. Then he was like, you better tell them that they need this.
That's where the
Biden, come on, please, Biden. It's embarrassing. Listen, come on. I'm hanging on by a very thin thread here, man.
Barely here.
I love how he said it's common.
It's common sense. Well, common sense apparently does not the scientific process make, because it turns out there's no science to it. Here he is now.
Many people who feel, you know, if you really want to have an extra little bit of protection, maybe I should put 2 masks on. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's no data that indicates that is going to make a difference. And that's the reason why the CDC has not changed the recommendation.
You dismissive prick. This guy's like, oh, yeah, he's like, maybe some people think wearing 2 masks. They think it because of you. That was you. They think it because of you. It would have come from nobody else, if not your little Geppetto Pinocchio ass, okay?
This guy is playing Simon Says with America.
And listen, it's not my fault. I'm not very good at Simon Says. I prefer bop it. Bop it, twist it, bang it, spin it.
It's crazy.
You know what he just did, though? He said there's nothing...
Parker Brothers!
He said, shut up. There's nothing wrong with that. He said there's nothing wrong with 2 masks. Guess what? There is.
There's a lot wrong with 2 masks.
I don't play sorry,
if you put 2 masks on, you can't get enough airflow through the mask, and so it comes in and out from the sides.
There are several problems. Here's the thing. There are several problems with 2 masks. One, it may make the mask fit improperly, or the second mask fit improperly. You're more likely to be fiddling with it with your hands. Also, if you happen to have COVID and you are breathing into the particles of these masks, it's like dandelion root that you can breathe and aspirate these particles, and it can actually make it more harmful, not to mention the fact that it makes you look like a dick.
Yeah. That's the most important one.
I don't like to make absolute litmus tests. If you wear 2 masks, we will never be friends.
Never.
You are not welcome to my house.
Ever.
And I have house parties with more than 6 people all the time. Send the Gestapo. I don't care what Rat says.
Yeah, it's true, you do.
I don't ever get invited.
I love all the people saying, you know, taking pictures and selfies and stuff and putting it online with 2 masks. It's like, oh my God.
The double mask.
Took a picture of men, you know, themselves crying selfies and put it on Instagram like that was okay. It's like, you're crying because Biden won? You're not my friend. Put a mask over your whole face.
Unfollow.
Plastic with packing peanuts.
So sad.
And a rubber band.
And not to mention, look, there's a problem. The double mask is the mark of the anti-science beast. Okay? The double mask is the mark of the anti-science beast because you don't believe in science. You have no respect for the scientific process. Not to mention the worst effects, which are the societal ramifications of everyone being degraded, everyone being insulted and labeled a science denier if they did not, in fact, wear 2 masks. But here you go. This is something, just in case you think it was just Dr. Fauci, this was parroted and you were actually given instructions on mainstream media predicated on the idea of a scientific basis as to how to utilize the double mask.
Certainly, if you have an immunocompromised condition or any other medical problem that is seriously compromising your immune system, or you're older, then you might be a person who needs to wear 2 masks, especially in more dangerous situations like going out in crowded spaces.
Elect Joe Biden does it. Mitt Romney double masked during the Capitol insurrection. Tom Cruise also double masks.
Actually putting the cloth mask first and then putting the surgical mask on top of it. Just made this an N95 right here.
Wearing 2 good quality masks can provide an extra layer of protection.
Yeah, you got to think it's just an added layer, an added wall between you and the world there.
With regards to doubling up on surgical or cloth masks, I would say that adds extra protection in terms of the droplets being expelled.
Place the surgical mask on your face first. Now place the cloth mask on top. The cloth mask provides a physical barrier to respiratory droplets.
Well, there you go. Only turns out there's no science behind any of that. Don't you love that instruction there? They're going, 2. And by the way, did you notice that the last one, that was Washington Post, was telling you to do it the opposite way?
Yeah.
Of ABC.
Well, and Tom Cruise was just trying to replace his 2 beards.
By the way, the masks don't work at all if you have facial hair. Did you know that? Is that true? That's what they said. Like, it doesn't work. Shave your facial hair. So just shave our facial hair way too. Okay. What's the instruction? Shave your facial hair. Okay. Don't wear a mask. Actually, you should wear a mask. Okay. Now wear 2 masks. No, put it back. Put it back. Put it back. 1 mask. Like, and then at any point, if you go, hold on a second, is there science for any of this? You're labeled a science denier.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think I've ever seen someone deny science more than Fauci if his previous statement was considered science.
Every statement he makes is considered science by the left right now. Everything he says is gospel.
Are we able to get Thomas Finnegan? We are going to be able to get Thomas Finnegan. Okay, because this is a thing. Okay. We're going to be talking tomorrow about the science from tests. And listen, I want people to get tested. Yeah. By the way, anyone in the studio here who wants a vaccine, I'm just going to hit this, talk to the control. Anyone in the control room out there who wants a vaccine, I'll pay for anyone who wants a vaccine. I don't want one, okay? I want people here to understand the science. And I want people to stay safe.
Yes, of course.
But the tests have not been what we were told. The vaccines, which they said you shouldn't trust, now they're saying to trust. The double masking now, Fauci, saying there is no science for it. The good news is, though, at least the good old Chinese are coming up with some new methods. And right now, this is on. I mean, it's making its way to the public. They feel pretty good about the new testing, a new anal swab, I think. This is.
Oh, that was it.
Okay.
So this is actually what they're developing in China right now to check your viral load.
Must be their anniversary.
So, that's enough. And I think, here, sometimes at Lotto Scudder, we get an exclusive before other people do. We get access, we get access to Spartan Armor, Walther. We have, I guess, what would you call it, sort of premier access to the anal swab. And Thomas Finnegan is actually testing it for you. Time to go on the ground with Thomas Finnegan. All right, Thomas Finnegan, are you there, sir? Can you hear us?
Yes, Stephen. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Okay, let us know. Fill us in. What's going on? What is this new COVID testing method? What can people expect?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. The way I like to look at it is we're looking for accuracy. Okay. And you go straight to the horse's mouth to get that.
Okay, and when can we expect the rollout?
Well, that again, it depends on your location and which municipality you're in. They all have their own schedules.
It's very district to district.
Exactly, and is that?
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.